A few days ago, CBS News broadcast an interview on its show 60 Minutes with two Mossad agents who had leading roles in the terrorist pager attack on Lebanon back in September. Before watching the interview, I anticipated the usual whitewashing of crimes, but I was wrong. It was all about unabashedly boasting about the attack in the most devilish, unfiltered way imaginable. The interview was not just a display of arrogance, but a chilling reminder of the normalization of terrorism under the guise of sophistication and defense, only when it's carried out by a West-aligned perpetrator. Let's examine some of the most striking statements made during the interview.
We have an incredible array of possibilities of creating foreign companies that have no way being traced back to Israel, shell companies over shell companies who affect the supply chain to our favor. We create a pretend world. We are a global production company. We write the screenplay, we're the directors, we're the producers, we're the main actors, and the world is our stage.
Here, a Mossad agent brazenly brags about Israel's ability to manipulate global supply chain through fake and shell companies to achieve its goals. The agent takes pride in deceit and treachery, describing the Mossad as a global production company and claiming that the world is our stage.
If we push the button, the only one that will get injured is the terrorist himself. Even if his wife or his daughter will be just next to him, he's the only one that's going to be harmed.
The operation targeted individuals in civilian settings, public spaces, with their families, wives, and children. This is a clear violation of the Geneva Conventions, which prohibits attacks on non-combatants. But let's assume for a moment that international law doesn't matter, a mindset that seems pervasive among Israelis. Even if every individual carrying these pagers was part of the resistance, which wasn't the case, how could they ensure the devices weren't picked up by a pregnant wife or a curious child? Among the 30 people killed in the attack, 2 were children. Yet, this is evidently not a concern for Mossad or CBS News that didn't even bother to debunk the Mossad's lies. And this is, of course, other than the thousands of civilians injured in the explosions, another fact that 60 Minutes completely glossed over.
We make advertising movies and brochures, and we put it on internet, and it became the best product in the beeper area in the world.
According to the agents, any advertisement we see could potentially be a clandestine Mossad operation. Disturbing? Certainly, but social media platforms are surely doing their best to combat this, right?
So the company in Taiwan, Gold Apollo, did they know that they were working with people from Mossad?
Gold Apollo had zero clue that they are working with the Mossad.
This is outright fraud. A Taiwanese company was unknowingly dragged into this operation, jeopardizing its reputation and risking diplomatic relations between Lebanon and Taiwan.
When they are buying from us, they have zero clue that they are buying from the Mossad. We make like Truman Show. Everything is controlled by us behind the scene.
For most people, watching The Truman Show might inspire a healthy skepticism of media or a questioning of reality. For a Mossad agent, it's apparently a source of inspiration, a manual for creating deceptive bubbles to trap people, all without remorse or a moral compass. Thank God they didn't watch Star Wars.
Watch the man on the left. Those right next to him were unscathed. The very next day, Mossad finally activated the walkie-talkies that had been dormant for 10 years, some going off at the funerals of those killed by the pagers.
Booby-trapping walkie-talkies to cause explosions at funerals. This is nothing short of terrorism. Yet CBS avoids calling it what it is. Instead, they label the operation as daring, sophisticated, and a modern take on the Trojan horse. No media ethics, no logic, just propaganda.
Killing Hezbollah terrorist. If he just dead, so he's dead. But if he wounded, you have to take him to the hospital, take care of him. You need to invest money in efforts. And those people without hands and eyes are living proof, walking in Lebanon, of don't mess with us. They are walking proof of our superiority all around the Middle East.
Narcissism, hints of fascism, and an unhealthy dose of vanity, perhaps. Here we have a psychopathic individual boasting about superiority achieved through terrorizing civilians and causing irreversible harm. Sounds familiar?
We want them to feel vulnerable, which they are. We can't use the pagers again because we already did that. We've already moved on to the next thing. And they'll have to keep on trying to guess what the next thing is.
Once again, spreading fear and paranoia among the people of Lebanon while pridefully vowing future attacks. The dehumanization is unfathomable. The sense of pride in such a gruesome operation reminded me of an interview with a Nazi soldier who became a mercenary in the Congo. In The Laughing Man, Major Siegfried Congo Müller smiles throughout the interview as he recounts his murderous exploits. I highly recommend watching it to get a glimpse of these agents' minds. At least, he wasn't scared to show his face.
The day after the pagers exploded, people were afraid to turn on the air conditioners in Lebanon because they were afraid that they would explode.
Siri, what's the definition of terrorism?
Terrorism is defined as the unlawful use of violence, intimidation, or coercion, especially against civilians, to achieve political, religious, ideological, or social objectives.
Thank you. No further comments.